Hi, it's Mitch from Reverse Mortgage Bros here, and in this video I'm going to walk you through appraisals and your initial home value for getting a mortgage. Let's get started. As always, I offer free professional help with your reverse mortgage decision. If you're interested in content like this, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up below this video. That way you'll get other videos similar to this to help you decide if a reverse mortgage is right for you and your family. Now, the initial value of your home is important as it will dictate how much reverse mortgage you can get or any kind of mortgage for any kind of mortgage type. And all lenders use appraisals to provide an estimate of your home's value for the purposes of a new mortgage or refinance of an existing mortgage. The only time you don't really need an appraisal is if you're buying a home because that purchase price becomes the value of the home. Even then, sometimes you occasionally do. So I'm going to walk you through appraisals, how they work, how you should approach the initial value of your home and appraisals in general, including answering questions like, should you stage for the appraisal? Will an appraiser even come into your home, given that some appraisals can be done in an automated manner now? What if you disagree with the valuation, and how can you get an idea of how much your home is worth before you even start all of this? Before we get into detail, as always, I'm going to walk you through what is a reverse mortgage in 20 seconds. It's a mortgage for homeowners 55 and over that doesn't require repayments. You can get 10 to 55% of your home's value, depending on your age, property type, and location. You can get as much money as you qualify for, but any existing mortgage must be paid off first. And it's designed to help you tap into your home equity for retirement and to continue to live in your home forever. In this video, I'm going to walk you through appraisals and determining the initial value of your home, as I mentioned. And I'd like to start by talking about how you go about estimating your home's value. Now, this is before you might even apply for a reverse mortgage. You might want to get a rough idea of how much your home is worth. There are some online tools where you can get an estimate of your home's value. Just be careful because some of them are just real estate agents' marketing techniques to try and get you to get on the phone so they can give you a sales pitch. At the end of the day, this is just to get an idea. The lender will still carry out an appraisal, whether it's in person or automated, and I'll discuss that in further detail in the video. But these tools can give you a rough idea to see if it's even worth exploring your reverse mortgage, rough idea of what your home is worth, and so on until you get to that point of the appraisal down the line. So in BC, the property assessment actually can be quite close to the value of the home, particularly in the bigger towns and cities. Whereas in other provinces, the tax assessed value can be completely off, like way off, sometimes even half the home's value. So in that situation, what you can do is find some local real estate apps and websites that can give you an estimated value. For example, there's an app called House Sigma in the Greater Toronto area that has pretty decent estimated values to give you a rough idea how much your home is worth. So just try and find something like that. Again, just be careful. A lot of them are simply just real estate marketing ploys to get your phone number so a real estate agent can call you and give you a sales pitch. If you're able to just put up with that, you can just get a real estate agent to give you an estimated value as well. You're going to have to pretend that you're selling your home potentially to get them to do that and walk through a sales pitch, but that's one way of doing it. So, why does a lender use an appraisal then? Why would they not use one of these tools, a real estate agent, anything like that? Well, for any mortgage, it isn't a purchase, an appraisal is used. So any kind of refinance, new mortgage with that lender, and they need an accurate, independent, and impartial valuation of the home. And an appraiser is trained to a much higher level than a real estate agent is in how to conduct appraisals and provide home valuations. And because your home may have been purchased many years ago, this is pretty much the only acceptable method to lender in Canada and also in the US, other places too. They can be automated and not done in person in some cases, and the automation of appraisals really kind of took off during the COVID pandemic when you couldn't perform in-person appraisals, and that pushed automated appraisals to a new level. So I want to talk about that first, automated appraisals. And so would your home qualify? Well, it's impossible to know in advance if it will be an automated or in-person appraisal for reverse mortgage or any kind of mortgage. But what I can do is give you criteria that would increase the chance of this happening so you know if you have a good chance or not. So the first criteria is if the amount you're borrowing is a small proportion of the home's value. So let's say your home is worth roughly $1 million and you're only looking to borrow 100,000. That would increase the chance of them using automated appraisal because you're not borrowing a high percentage of the value of the home. The second is if your home is in a well-populated area, like a big town or city, which means that there's regular home sales happening all the time that they can then use, the automated tools can use for these reports. And then the third piece of puzzle is if your home isn't particularly unique or different kind of property to those other homes that are selling nearby. So a good example is condos can largely be automated, townhouses to a certain extent because they're based largely on the square footage. There's not really anything unique about a condo in general that's going to massively increase the value. Whereas if you have a home on a 10-acre lot in a rural area, that's going to be could be a very different property to another home just around the corner down the road from you. When it comes to in-person appraisals, that means that an appraiser is going to visit your home and inspect various features of your home. What I want to tell you is that they're only looking at things like the size, the layout, the structure, the roof, any unique features, any additions or new parts added to the home. They're looking at big things, structural things, building things, foundational things. They're not really looking at the cleanliness, the finishes, anything like that. So in my opinion, it's not really necessary to stage your home for an appraisal. The cleanliness and the state of the home is going to have very little to do with the assessed value. In fact, what I would tell you is that 90% or more of the home's value is going to be based upon similar properties in the area. That's really what drives all appraisals. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more because there's a pretty big limitation that comes from this. I'm going to talk about the limitations of appraisals. So they can't really place a value on unique features, good finishes, or anything too unique about the property because most of the value is coming from sales of similar properties in the area. They will make some small adjustments to those, but in general, the value of your home is going to be dictated by recent sales or any similar sales in your area. So if you happen to own the most expensive home, best home in your area, the other sales are going to drag your price down. Unfortunately, there's no way around it. That's just how appraisals work. That's the limitation of appraisals. And they tend to provide more conservative, lower estimates than what the home would actually sell for at market. That goes across the board, but even more so where you have a unique property with unique features, finishes, or anything like that. So what can you do to get the best appraised value? Well, you can mention recent sales in the area that are positive for your home, so the appraiser is made aware of them. You'd be surprised how many appraisers can miss recent sales in the area. Some of the tools to pick them up aren't that good. And remember, this is what's going to drive the value of your home. 90% of it is just already done based on those sales. You can give them a list of recent improvements, any major renovations, again, big things that you've done to the home since it was purchased that they can then use to make adjustments from the recent sales. And then you can highlight and make them aware of any unique features. Just remember that the adjustments they make are only going to be small based off of the recent sales. They're not going to make any big adjustments based on unique features and aspects of your home. So what if you disagree with an appraisal? Well, the first thing I'd say is if you can still get the money that you require and that you're looking for, don't take it personally. In this sense, the appraisal has done its job. The appraisal is just a piece of paper that is obsolete and completely useless the moment that you sign your mortgage anyway. The purpose of this piece of paper is to help you get that mortgage. And if your appraisal comes in at, if you think your home is worth a million, the appraisal comes in 800,000 and you're looking to borrow 200,000 and they're going to give you the 200,000 anyway, don't take it personally that the appraisal came in way short of your expected value. All that matters at the end of the day is that you're getting the money that you needed and wanted in the first place. The appraisal's done its job in that sense. The appraisal is essentially meaningless, has no power or nothing otherwise, other than to get you that money. Now, if you couldn't get the money you needed, you can get a second appraisal if you believe there were some major errors. And specifically, for example, if they missed some recent sales in the area, that's the biggest error that can be made. And that's the only way a second appraisal would really come in differently anyway. If you disagree with the valuation based on it not properly valuing unique features and unique aspects of your home compared to the other ones in the area that you used, unfortunately, getting second appraisal is going to be a waste of time because this is just simply a limitation of appraisals. It's how appraisals work, and I just talked about it in the previous slide. They're always going to undervalue homes that are particularly unique, that are the nicer homes in the area, that have unique finishes, unique features, unique aspects, because essentially the other sales are going to drag your valuation down, and there's nothing you can do about that, I'm afraid. So another common question I get is, why can't I get a copy of the appraisal report? And that can be quite frustrating, that technically you pay for the appraisal but aren't always given a copy of the report. Um, and the reason is that even though you pay for it, the lender is technically the client for the appraiser. The appraiser is doing it for them and sends it to them. Now, the lender could give you a copy if they wanted to. This is all going to depend on the policy, which varies from lender to lender, not just for reverse mortgages, but for mortgages in general. And some of the employees can get in trouble for giving you this. It could even be fired for giving you a copy of an appraisal report, depending on their situation. And the different lenders have different confidentiality policies and policies around appraisals. So sometimes there's nothing that the person on their end of the line can do to help you. That's the lender's policy. They're not going to risk their jobs sending you a copy of the appraisal report. Sometimes you will be able to get a copy. Again, this is just something that you kind of just have to live with. It's the system that we play within, and those are the rules. So in summary, any kind of home that's getting a new mortgage or refinance or reverse mortgage will have an appraisal done. It'll either be automated or in person to establish the value for the lender for these purposes. It's not a real value, it's a paper value, it doesn't mean anything. They tend to be lower conservative estimates of your home's value because they're limited and can't value things like unique features and finishes, and they're completely reliant on recent sales in your area. So your home could be dragged down or up based on those recent sales. That's just fortunately a limitation of the system. So having said that, it's not worth spending too much time staging your home or worrying about the appraisal in general, because at the end of the day, all the sales in your area have already happened, and those are what are going to be drive the appraised price. So I would say be nice to the appraiser, give them the key information you like to know about their home, point out the key things, point out some sales in the area that are maybe positive for your home. Other than that, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Now, if you've seen this video and you're thinking about a reverse mortgage, if that's an option for you, or trying to find the best deal, I offer a free professional reverse mortgage assessment and estimate. I'll give you a free assessment, advise you if it's a good solution, advise you what the best deal is, if something better works. All it takes 90 seconds. There's no hard, pushy sales tactic. You're not going to talk to me. I'm going to just give you the information and let you decide. That's ultimately, it's up to you at the end of the day, in my opinion. Simply go to reversemortgagepros.ca/assessment if that's something that you're interested in. That's reversemortgagepros.ca/assessments, and I'll put the link below this video as well. Otherwise, if you have any questions or comments on appraisals and establishing the initial value of your home, anything in this video, leave them below, and I usually answer all the questions and comments that I get. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.